Hi, welcome back to our online preparation course for the TOEFL test. In this module, we are going to continue getting prepared for the grammar section of the test. This time, we are going to be focusing on articles. So, when you are ready, let's start. I want you to take out a piece of paper and I want you to analyze the sentences that will appear on your screen. Yeah, this is a very common exercise in section B, right? Actually, this is a type of exercise that you can find in section B of the grammar section of the test. What I want you to do, I want you to try to find the mistake and write the answer on your piece of paper. Don't worry if you cannot find the answer. We will come back later after the explanation. Okay, so let's start. The first sentence says, Patricia is taking a very difficult classes this semester. Okay? What do you think the mistake is? Take a moment and decide. This sentence says, the mongoose is a very clever creature that catches snakes. According to you, what is the mistake? Okay, take a moment and write the letter on your piece of paper. Okay, this sentence says, a sun was shining brightly when we arrived at the lake. Okay, what is the problem here? Write the letter on your piece of paper. Peter is looking for an university where he can play basketball. According to you, what is the problem? Write it down on your piece of paper. As I said, don't worry. We will come back later after the explanation. So, articles can be a little bit problematic, right, in the grammar section of the test. That's why we are going to be covering important points related to them. For example, articles with singular nouns, a and, agreement between articles and nouns, and articles with specific and general ideas. So let's start with articles with different kinds of nouns, okay? We know that there are two different kinds of articles. The indefinite, that is the general, a and an, and the definite, that is the specific, the, okay? So, it is important that you learn how to use each of these articles with the different kinds of words, okay? So, the first case is countable singular nouns. When you have countable singular nouns like dollar or apple, both types of articles can be used, the indefinite and the definite. You can say a dollar or the dollar. You can say an apple or the apple, okay? When you have a countable plural noun, you can only use the definite article, okay? You can say the dollars, the apples, but you cannot say an dollars or an apple, right? You can only use the definite article, the. And something similar happens when you have uncountable nouns. When you have uncountable nouns, you can use the definite article. You can say the money. You can say the juice. But you cannot say a money or a juice. Okay, you can only use the definite article. Okay, it is important that you really understand this information so you can answer questions with article problems correctly. For example, in this case, I have a book. If you notice, book is a countable singular noun, so the article a is needed. I have money. Money is an uncountable noun, so the article is not needed. I have books. Books is a countable plural, so no article is needed. Let's continue with when we have to use a and when we have to use an. It is very common the belief that if a word starts with a consonant, you use a, and if a word starts with a vowel, you use an. For example, in this case, a book, book starts with consonant. A man, man starts with consonant. A page, page starts with consonant. So that's why you use a. On the other hand, we have, for example, an orange. Orange starts with a vowel. An illness. Illness starts with a vowel. An automobile. Automobile starts with a vowel. Okay, so yes, it is true. When a word starts with a consonant, you use a. When a word starts with a vowel, you use an. But it is not as easy as it looks. Why? Because, for example, in this case, we have a university, okay? So according to the previous rule, it would have to be an university, but that is not correct. Here, it would be interesting that you analyzed the phonemic script. If you notice, the word university doesn't start with a vowel sound. It starts with a consonant sound. An unhappy man, okay, if you notice in the phonemic script, unhappy starts with a vowel. That's why it's an. A hand, yeah, you may believe that the H is like in Spanish, that it doesn't sound. So no, there are some situations in which the H has a sound, like in this case, a hand. It has a consonant sound. That's why it's a. But on the other hand, we have an hour, right? So in this case, the H doesn't sound. And if you notice, the word starts with a vowel sound. So it is not just to see if a word starts with a consonant or with a vowel. No. What we have to pay attention is if the word starts with a consonant sound or with a vowel sound. If a word starts with a consonant sound, you need a. If the word starts with a vowel sound, you need and. Okay, so be careful with this point. Let's continue with agreement between articles and nouns. Okay, I want you to look at these three sentences and try to identify the mistakes. The first one says, he saw a new movies. The second says, they traveled to a nearby mountains. The third one says, do you have another books? So, if you notice in the first case, the problem is that we have an indefinite article and a plural countable, right? The second one, we have again an indefinite article and a plural countable, right? And in the third one, we have another, which is for singular, and we are using it with a plural noun. So, it would be better to say, he saw a new movie. That is the correct one. Why? Because as we are using a, we need a singular noun. He saw a new movie. Yeah, in the second one, again, instead of mountains, we need mountain. Why? Because we have the indefinite article a. They traveled to a nearby mountain. And in the last one, instead of another, you need other, right? Why? You have two options. You put another with a singular noun, like do you have another book? Or you put other with a plural noun, do you have other books? So it is important that you pay lots of attention to agreement between the articles and the nouns. Now let's continue with articles with a specific and general ideas. Okay, remember, we have two different kinds of articles. The indefinite ones, a and an the definite article, that is the. Okay, so you have a paragraph on your screen. I want you to read it and try to complete it with the correct articles. Take a moment and do it. If you want, you can pause the video in order to have more time. Okay, so it says, yesterday I went to a bookstore. The bookstore was very big. So if you notice the first time that you mention something, you need the indefinite article. But the second time that you mention it, you need the definite article. That's why the first time is a bookstore and the second time is the bookstore. After I found a history book in order to do my homework, a man started talking to me. The man, did you notice? The first time is a man, but the second one has to be the man. Why? Because you already mentioned the man. The man told me that the book I chose, the first time that I mentioned the book was with a, but the second one is with the. The man told me that the book I chose was the most interesting book he has ever read. It is important that you also remember that with superlatives, we always use the most interesting book he has ever read. The next day, he invited me to the cinema. Why the cinema? Because it is a well-known place. And we watched a movie. Any movie. Okay? That's why it is with the indefinite article. I am very sad because after going to the cinema, he left to the United States. Okay, so in this case, it is the United States. There are going to be some countries that have the included in the name. For example, the United States, the Great Britain, the United Kingdom. Okay? So these are several things that you have to take into consideration. When you mention something for the first time, you need the indefinite article, a or an. When you mention something for the second time, you need the definite article, the. When you have a superlative, you always use the. When you have something well known, right, you use the, like the cinema. And there are some countries that have the article included in the name. For example, the United States. So here are some suggestions. Before the suggestions, right, let's check our exercises. So, Patricia is taking a very difficult classes this semester. What is the problem in here? The problem is that the article and the noun it refers to do not agree. So if you notice, you have a and you have classes. So remember, you cannot use the indefinite article with plural countable nouns. So it should be, Patricia is taking a very difficult class this semester. Okay, remember, it is important to check the agreement between articles and nouns. The second sentence says, the mongoose is a very clever creature that catches snakes. So what is the problem? an article is missing. It should be, the mungus is a very clever creature that catches snakes. A sun was shining brightly when we arrived at the lake. Okay, what is the problem? There is an incorrect article that is being used, right? Why? Because it has to be the sun. Why? Because there is only one sun. When you only have one of something, you need the. For example, the sun, the moon, the teacher in a classroom, the blackboard in a classroom. Okay? Peter is looking for a university where he can play basketball. What is the problem? The problem is that the indefinite article is spelled incorrectly. You don't need an, you need a. In order for it to be, Peter is looking for a university. Okay, remember, in this case, university starts with a consonant sound. So it has to be a university. Okay? So, here are some recommendations. When you are taking the grammar exam, the grammar section of the TOEFL test, check that a and an are used correctly. Okay? Check that the articles are only used when they are needed. And check that there is agreement between the article and the noun. Okay? Now, go back to the model and do the exercises, and see you next time. Bye-bye.